I learned my true value to my family while lying in a cold emergency room bed with 3 cracked ribs and a shattered arm. A distracted driver blew through a red light and crushed my car on my way home from a grueling late shift. My husband Colin was stuck 6 hours away on a business flight, which left our 6-week-old daughter Maya without anyone to watch her. My mother Brenda lived 20 minutes away, so Colin called her in a panic to ask for help with the baby for just one night. She refused without hesitation, telling him that my sister Chloe never had these convenient emergencies that disrupted everyone. My mother was sitting at a slot machine in a casino while my sister was relaxing on a tropical cruise. That heartless refusal changed something deep inside me forever as I lay under the buzzing fluorescent lights. I had spent my entire adult life as a senior financial analyst, clawing my way up from poverty through sheer discipline and endless work. Numbers were my sanctuary because they were honest, logical, and completely predictable, unlike the toxic family dynamics I had spent years trying to fix. For 9 long years, I had quietly automated monthly transfers totaling $4,500 directly to my parents. I convinced myself that this money was strictly for the mortgage and the critical heart treatments of my father Arthur. I believed being the dependable pillar of the family made me safe. But in reality I was just an open bank account for ungrateful people. Instead of shedding tears or falling apart, I used my one functional hand to contact a certified night care agency. Within 40 minutes, a gentle nurse named Karen arrived at my house to watch baby Maya and sent me a photo of her sleeping peacefully. With my child safe and my husband on his way, I turned my full attention to the remaining debt on my screen. I logged into my banking application and pulled up the recurring payments section that I knew by heart. For separate monthly transfers added up to $486,000 over 9 full years without my husband or anyone else knowing. I tapped the screen 4 times to cancel every single transfer, stopping the endless drain of my hard-earned savings in under 20 seconds. While reviewing the recent transactions, I noticed a $40,000 sum marked for medical expenses that actually went to my sister Chloe. She believed a communal family fund covered her luxury lifestyle, completely unaware that my mother was secretly funneling my money directly to her. My mother had spent nearly a decade claiming they managed everything on their own while secretly draining nearly $500,000. My sister called me from the deck of her cruise ship complaining that her credit card was suddenly declined at the spa. She had no idea I was lying in a hospital bed with severe injuries, and she casually demanded that I fix the payment issue immediately when I mentioned my accident. She dismissed my pain as drama and urged me to restore her funding before her next vacation stop. By the next morning, my mother had already launched a smear campaign on the family group text thread. She announced to dozens of relatives that I was acting spitefully by cutting off my sick father during his time of need. Relatives began posting angry comments accusing me of cruelty, completely blind to the fact that my mother had been gambling away my money at a casino for years. When my husband Colin finally arrived with Maya, I asked him to set up my laptop on the tray table so I could work. I exported 9 years of bank statements into a detailed spreadsheet to track down where every single dollar actually went. Out of nearly $500,000, only $65,000 went to actual medical care, while over $290,000 was withdrawn near that casino. That evening, my grandfather Walter walked into my hospital room carrying an old manila folder secured with worn rubber bands. He revealed that he had known about the financial exploitation for a long time and was ready to help me expose the truth. My late grandmother Hazel had recognized the greed of my mother and had quietly worked with an attorney to protect the estate before her passing. My mother called me directly when the monthly deposit failed to arrive. Shifting rapidly from fake concern to sharp guilt trips, she repeated her favorite phrase about how my sister Chloe never caused such inconvenience, but I remained completely silent and hung up. Shortly after, she invited the entire family to a Sunday dinner under the pretense of welcoming the baby, intending to publicly pressure me into paying again. Instead of declining the invitation or starting a shouting match, I agreed to attend the Sunday gathering with my husband and grandfather. I printed out a single sheet of paper containing 12 clean rows that proved where every dollar had gone over 9 years. I tucked the page into the diaper bag, determined to present hard cold facts to the exact audience my mother had cultivated to shame me. We arrived at the house of my parents on Sunday evening, stepping inside where my mother was playing the gracious host. She immediately launched into a dramatic speech for the relatives, Claiming she was heartbroken by my sudden cruelty and abandonment, she delivered her famous line once more, telling the crowded room that my sister never had such selfish emergencies, waiting for me to break down in tears. I calmly placed my one-page financial summary on the center of the dining table for everyone to examine closely. I explained in a quiet voice that my sister never had emergencies because I had been secretly funding her entire life. Relatives gasped as they read the breakdown of casino withdrawals and hidden loans. Watching the grand narrative my mother had spun completely collapse in front of them. Before my mother could recover and accuse me of lying, my grandfather Walter laid his manila folder onto the table next to my paper. He produced official legal documents showing that my grandmother Hazel had placed the house and all family assets into a binding trust for me and baby Maya. My mother realized in an instant that the very home she stood in was no longer hers to control or gamble away. My mother broke into hysterical tears while my father admitted in a quiet whisper that I was right, before falling silent again. My sister Chloe wept as she finally understood that her luxury lifestyle had been built on my endless sacrifice and suffering. We gathered our belongings and walked out the door into the cool night air, leaving behind the chaos and closing that painful chapter for good. The legal trust remained unbreakable, allowing my parents to stay in the home while ending the cycle of exploitation forever. I learned that people who praise your strength are often just comfortable with never having to support you when you fall. Today, I dedicate my life to being a loving mother to Maya, knowing that stepping away from toxic expectations was the greatest gift I could ever give myself.